Welcome to Boots and Roots Homestead. I'm Tiffany.
Scott.
We're going to make breakfast this morning. We're going to make some biscuits and gravy. We've tried a couple times to make some intro videos and they've been pretty bad, or the wind was too strong or something happened. So anyway, we decided maybe we'll just make this our intro video and we'll just kind of talk about ourselves and what our goals are while we're making breakfast today. So Scott's gonna get the sausage ready for the gravy and I'm gonna start on the biscuits. So here we go.
Biscuits.
All right, for biscuits, you're gonna need about 2 cups of flour, not packed flour, just loosely.
For gravy, you need sausage. This should say Wilma on it because this is one of our pigs that we raised last year.
Yes, yep. Our last hog is in the freezer. I don't know if we'll venture down that path again of raising hogs. All right, 2 cups of flour, 5 tablespoons of lard, very cold lard that I left in the freezer a little too long. Gonna need a tablespoon of baking powder, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and half of a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda. Get your little pieces of lard, cover them in flour, and then I just squeeze them between my fingers, kind of flatten them out a little bit. Kind of see how it's starting to flatten out a little bit. Whoops. It's a little messy too. Should be wearing an apron. Alright, so you want to keep mixing this up. Just flatten it out until it's all pretty incorporated and it's pretty coarse. So a little bit about us. We have been out here on this farm for about 6 years now. We bought it in 2012, and this is actually where Scott grew up at. So the last year or so we've talked a lot about how to expand what we do out here. Like we said, we've tried hogs, was not one of our favorite things to raise. Right now we've got chickens, we have one duck left and a couple of ducklings, and we've got 1 turkey that we got from a friend of mine. Oh,
Christy.
Miss Christy, yeah, she's very sweet.
That red bourbon something or other.
She's a bourbon red.
Onions go in the biscuits or the sausage?
No, go ahead and put the onions in the sausage. Alright, so we are this is done. That's perfect.
Preheat.
Alright, so So we're going to turn the oven on to 425, let that preheat. Give Scott some instructions here on the sausage. Okay, so as you can see, we don't have a lot of fat in our sausage. So what I do with this is we're going to add a whole stick of butter.
Butter. Not margarine.
No, not margarine. You want butter. You could put it down. Okay, we're going to add our seasonings. We want a half teaspoon of ground pepper.
That's a quarter. Half a teaspoon?
Yeah, half teaspoon. You can add more or less, however, whatever your tastes are for it. I guess Scott wants more. All right, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. I don't have any minced garlic, so we're just going to use powder today. And again, add whatever to your liking. And we want a teaspoon of sage. Normally I add thyme to this as well, but I'm out of that too.
We're out of time.
Alright. And quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can leave that out if you don't like the heat from it. And a half teaspoon of smoked paprika. Alright. That all stirred up in there.
Yeah.
Cut!
Yay, pepper.
Alright, to this we're going to put in a half cup of flour. We're going to start adding our milk a little bit at a time.
Locally sourced from Walmart.
Until we have a milk cow, we don't have much choice.
We do.
That's thickening up. So we're going to watch this for a few minutes. It'll start to kind of bubble. We'll stir it occasionally and start letting it thicken up a bit. I have it on about a medium-high heat. We're probably going to have to add a little more milk, but I want to see where we're at first before I... You can always add more, but you can't take it away.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't recording. I think you hit the button too many times. It might have been recording when I grabbed it, and then I hit the button and shut it off.
Wow. Is it recording now?
It says REC at the top and iAuto at the bottom. So just in case we didn't.
Can't find any good help. All right, so I've rolled these out, not rolled them out, I've pressed them out, folded them over a couple of times, and then pressed them out to about 1 inch thickness. And using a 2.5 inch cutter, and this, same thing, just kind of press all of your pieces back again. Try not to work with it too much. Press straight down so you don't
seal your sides. I learned something.
Only because the camera wasn't on when I said that earlier.
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
We're just guessing.
Yes. So anyway, never twist when you're cutting your biscuits. And obviously, I picked too big of a pan. Again, gather your scraps, and no matter what size you use, you are always going to end up with
a baby biscuit.
A baby biscuit. We'll see what we get today, though. And when you turn your oven on, let it sit for a while. Make sure you turn it on plenty of time. Just because it says it's up to temp, look at that. It's not quite. Let's try this again.
We do get a baby biscuit.
We are going to get a baby biscuit, because if I do that, then it's going to seal up the side. So it's got to be cut. All right, here's our baby biscuit. We'll just twist it over a couple times, nice and careful. There we go. All right. Oh, somebody's learned something. If you ever do any kind of baking, this is a necessity. Always, always, always have a oven thermometer. Now ours is at 425, and it says 425 in there as well, but I can guarantee it's going to go up. My oven is off about 15 degrees, so 410, which I forgot to tell Scott, will actually stay and maintain a 425 temp inside. So we're going to let that ready, and we didn't quite get a dozen, but as you can see, I rolled them a little thicker than what I usually do. So we're gonna go ahead and put them in there since it is right at 425. Actually, I think it just dropped to 400 because we had the door open. Timer. Check them puppies in about 10 minutes. Ready? All right, so our biscuits are done, and our little baby biscuit there. Our gravy's done, our eggs are done, so we are gonna sit down and have some breakfast, and then we will be back with you in a little bit. I lost my train of thought.
Yay, breakfast.
All right, so we'll see you back here in just a little bit as soon as we get done eating.